This is not Groot, though you'll be forgiven for thinking it is. This is the reason why you can't stick at the gym. This is why you continually eat the food you know you shouldn't eat because you don't want to eat, but you can't stop eating. This is why you can't get food into the gym. This is why you can't step food outside. This is the reason why your life is the way it is. This is the brain, and this is your central nervous system. Underneath the muscle, underneath the skin, underneath the fascia, under all of that is a nervous system. And your nervous system is governed by the brain. And the brain has to be subdivided into two parts, the unconscious or the subconscious and the conscious. Now, in this world, we're very egotistical. Society has been set up to provide us a platform to express our ego in an unhealthy way mostly. But what we do expressing and what we think we know, etc., is 10%. 10% of our makeup. 90% of what we think, do, say, act is governed by the subconscious mind, the right side. Hence the reason the Bible, Jesus said, cast your nets to the right hand side. He's not talking about nets, he's not talking about fishing, he's talking about the brain. 10%, give 10% to God and you'll be enlightened. That just means give 10% of the ego brain through God, etc., etc. I'm not going to religious stuff, but the reason I'm saying that is because the subconscious mind is who we are. The subconscious mind dictates everything, basically. But we're unaware of that. And for especially in today's society, we're governed by what we believe we know in the 10%. And this is what's happening in society today. It's happened throughout the whole of history, but it's really been exacerbated now because of social media and the ability to just profess what we think we know. The unconscious brain dictates 90% of what we do. You don't digest your food, you don't think about it, you don't think about breathing, you don't think about breaking your heartbeat, you don't think about blinking. A lot of times, you don't think about what you retort, how you say things, how the tonality, the response. When you're triggered, unconscious brain dictating the actions. Think of COVID, think of immigration, think of climate change, think of all those divisory topics that's constantly pumped out on social media. The reason why we fight is because the unconscious brain is dictating how we feel about it, and then we're just reacting to the triggers and the imprintment that we have learned. Think about religion, divisory topic. But why do you believe in God in the Christian sense or the Jewish sense or the Muslim sense? It's not because you chose it, it's because you were born into it. Think about why you identify what you identify with. It's because most likely you were born into it. Okay? You're a white Christian, you're a Muslim, whatever it is, you're born into it. You don't get a choice. You're programmed from a very early age when the brain is very, very malleable. It's called theta brainwave. And from 0 to 7, you're literally existing in theta brainwave. And this is why children believe in the tooth fairy. This is why children believe in Santa Claus. This is why we believe what we believe. And most of what us adults believe has been programmed into us from we were children. Hence the reason why Zealot said, give me a child of 7 and I'll show you the man. Because once you've programmed your mind to believe certain things from a childhood position, you will carry that through your entire life. When your dad called you fat when you were a child, you believed that because your daddy represented love, represented protection, represented safety. And for him to say that meant you had to agree with it because you need to be safe. Your own personality, your own identity was not as important as safety. And when you're a child, you rely on other people to do everything for you. Therefore, to survive, you need to give up who you are and become who you believe you're meant to be. And this is what the problem is with today's society. Most of us, we're living in the ego brain, and we're living from the projection of the childhood wounds that's created in the subconscious mind. Now, I know this is deep, but the reason why you can't get to the gym, or you can't stick to the gym, or you can't stick to the diet, is because the subconscious mind has a program running in the back of it telling you you're not worthy, telling you you can't do it, telling you you're not good enough. And the conscious brain is telling you you can do this. The conscious brain is saying, okay, I'll just follow this diet. I'll just do this, I'll just do this, I'll just do this. It's dead easy. Everyone else on social media can do it. Why can't I? Because the subconscious mind is dictating the actions. And when you need the food, or when you don't go to the gym because of a story that you've told yourself, the conscious brain, just I won't go tonight. I couldn't be arsed. It's the unconscious brain that's really telling the story in the background from the patterns and programs that you've picked up as you've evolved from a child to a man or a child to a woman. Now, in the most basic form, it's stop and go, unsafe and safe. That's it. Okay, we're bringing it back to the most basic fundamental level here. Is it safe or is it unsafe? If it feels unsafe, then your subconscious brain is going to do everything it can to keep you safe. It's not going to rationally consider like, oh, you need to lose weight. You're going to die soon. Doesn't think like that. Your subconscious brain is going, we haven't done this before. This is out of our comfort zone. This is expending too much energy. I must get you back into the pattern that I'm familiar with, because familiarity equals safety. So it doesn't think logically, it doesn't think rationally. And when you can understand this, you can start the process to changing it. Now the problem is, well, it's not a problem, but we see it as a problem is, it's hard. It requires conscious effort. It requires exposing long-held beliefs that have governed our actions. And it's not going to allow us to just do it freely. We're going to have to fight for it. We're going to have to really connect with ourselves. We're going to have to really allow ourselves to express emotions. Because again, going back to childhood, what you experience in childhood has to be expressed from that position. So if you're, say, an adult and your dad called you fat at 3 or 4 or 5, and you're always made fun of for being fat, even though you weren't, you're probably just a wee bit chubby, bit of puppy fat, you were called fat, you identified as being fat. So that program was picked into your head. You didn't come out of your mother's womb thinking you were fat. Someone you loved told you you were fat. And because you needed to feel safe, you identified with that truth because they are the barometer of truth and safety and love. Therefore, your sense of self-worth was governed by another's opinion and you attached to it. And you've got to bring the unconscious mind, you've got to bring the awareness to it. So you've got to bring the subconscious thoughts to the awareness of the conscious. And this is the journey we're on. This is deep, but this is the reason why we are where we are. The subconscious mind picks up a story. It then programs the nervous system, and the nervous system reacts. The nervous system will react. If you put your hand over a flame, you'll pull a hand away. You won't have to be, look, if someone's like this and someone puts a flame under your hand as a joke, you go, fuck. You don't think about it. Your body reacts, keeping you safe. So it's the same thing. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's in your head. It just understands what you think or what you feel is true. That's it. Feelings are the foundation. Feelings dictate the thoughts. The thoughts then dictate the actions. So if you feel unworthy, then you're going to think thoughts that are going to determine that truth, that feeling to be true. And then the actions are going to reciprocate those thoughts. So feelings, I feel fat. Thoughts, I'm not going to go to the gym. You're going to think of a reason not to. Actions, you don't turn up. Reaction, you put on weight, you feel worse, and you're stuck in that loop. Feelings are the foundation. Feelings dictate the thoughts. The thoughts then dictate the actions. So if you feel unworthy, then you're going to think thoughts that are going to determine that truth, that feeling to be true. And then the actions are going to reciprocate those thoughts. So feelings, I feel fat. Thoughts, I'm not going to go to the gym. You're going to think of a reason not to. Actions, you don't turn up. Reaction, you put on weight, you feel worse, and you're stuck in that loop. Feelings, let's think, I don't know, your husband or wife says something that triggers you, because it's usually someone very close to you that will be the bigger impactor of your triggers. And then you will go, say your husband, if you're a woman, your husband makes a jokey comment about you putting on some weight. That weight, that story will probably have been formed in childhood, but those feelings they bring up will then create thoughts, which then will create the action of fighting, not going to the gym, hiding away. And this is the loop all of us are on. Every single man, woman and child is in these type of loops. It doesn't have to be about weight, it can be about anything. It could be about COVID, it could be immigration, it could be anything, okay? I'm giving you the big picture here because these are the reasons why society is the way it is as a collective, and you are the way you are as an individual. And when you can see this playing out, you can understand how to change it. The culture you're brought up in, the experience you have from family life, from your peers, from your schooling, the TV you watch, the radio you listen to, the magazines you read, the people you hang about with, they all govern the programming of the subconscious mind, which then dictate the actions of the conscious mind, which then feed the nervous system and cause the reactions that you make that govern your life. It is that simple, but it's just not easy. Because once you're aware of this, you're then in a position where you've got to start taking ownership, responsibility for it. Remember, I have said this, it may not be your fault what happened to you in childhood, but it's now your responsibility as an adult to change it so that you don't pass it on to your own children or the other people, or you project your pains that cause you to break up your husband or wife, leave your job, put on weight, avoid your health, cause pain to other people. Because we are, as a collective, very easily divided through divisory topics. COVID, immigration, climate change, Ukraine, World War III, whatever you want to think of, vaccines. They're all divisory topics that allow us to discover echo chambers on social media, hang about there, never question anything because the subconscious brain doesn't want that. That's danger. It's easy to go to the conscious brain and stay where we think we're safe, feel validated, and avoid the conversations, avoid the programs, avoid the jobs we need to do to get ourselves to move forward. But when you understand that the subconscious brain has programmed the nervous system, and the nervous system is then being triggered by your thoughts, releasing chemicals in the brain that's going to cause reactions, thoughts, feelings, and then actions, reactions. This all dictates our reality. Everything. And there's all of us. So it goes back to stop or go. The gym is dangerous. That's a thought, that's a feeling, that's an action, a reaction. The gym is safe. I love the gym. I feel good about the gym. And the thing is, you can reprogram your nervous system. You can let go of the subconscious thoughts. You let the subconscious thoughts go by bringing the unconscious to the conscious so that it no longer dictates your life. Jung said that, not me. Okay, so subconscious mind, reactions. If you do something triggers you and you respond without even thinking, that's a subconscious reaction. The program that you picked up as a child or as grown up, maybe as an adult, that's going to govern the reaction. It's unknown, you don't know why you're doing it, but the conscious mind will give you a reason why you're doing it. It will give you that arrogance. It will allow you to, I'm so right because I get validation from other people, and it then divides us further and further and further away. Now you can see this in play in real time in society today and the cultures of today. Social media is a cesspool of hell. It's just causing it. But this is the reason why you are the way you are. And when you can make peace with that, you can understand that you have the power to change. But change is hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to mean letting go of all these stories, all these beliefs, all these narratives that you have continually fed yourself, and you've been validated from others, but you've got to change it yourself. You've got to own your shit. You've got to take responsibility for your life. You've got to look in the mirror and go, I am not happy with who I am. There are things I can change. And then go into the unconscious brain and let those emotions be expressed. I do a lot of shadow work. This is why I do a lot of medicines and things like this. Because the last 5 years, I have moved through so much of my unconscious programs. And this is why I'm talking from experience. I have been surrounded by people who've done the similar things. It has cost me a lot. It's cost me marriage. It's cost me friendship. It's cost me so many things. But what I've gained cannot be expressed. The people I've met, the man I've become, is all because I have been willing to go into this. Now, it's like this. I'm going to find this. This is most of us. We're on a continuous circle. We experience something here. You repeat, it comes back to here, repeat it. So something makes you feel bad. You come down here, you feel fucking, I need my tobacco, I need my drink, I need my drugs, I need my food, I need my gambling, I need my porn, I need my social media, whatever it is. That makes you feel better for a while, you forget it. Then you feel guilty. You feel guilty, so you come up here again, you're guilty. Then you come back down to here, oh, I need my social media, I need my drugs, I need blah, 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 blah. That's the most society. The job you're meant to be is a spiral. So you start here, trigger. You release it, you go into the unconscious. You allow yourself to feel those emotions. The emotions, the energy of that emotion's released. You feel better. You start coming up. Boom, you're hit with another one. Oh, this is something even worse. But you've had this experience, this conscious experience. You've brought it to the conscious. You've now equipped yourself with the ability to cope. So your brain gives you something even harder up here. Now you've got to deal with it again. You deal with it again. You release it. You feel better. Now another program comes up. Boom. Hit it again. Agony. Crying. Whatever. Go through it again. And it continues. 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 And eventually, around about here or here, you start to recognize it. You start to see it for what it is. Oh, this is me releasing something. The majority of society wants to be on the hamster wheel. Believe the experts, blah, 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 blah. What the media has told us continually, that's what we take on board. When you start going to the subconscious, start doing the Jungian principles and the Adler and all the psychologists of the yesteryear who understood this at a deep level and really promoted this type of stuff, you can change your mindset. It takes effort. It takes confrontation of the stories. It takes courage, because regardless of what it is, if it's impacting your life in a negative way, it's probably a program, and it's going to require you to allow yourself to express it, go into the ego and release it, and let yourself loose from the pain of that ego, that control. But that takes effort, it takes time, it takes understanding, it takes acceptance that you are a dick. We're all dicks. And this is why most of us live in here. And this is why most of us live in the 3D material world. And this is why most of us just want the material goods, and we're chasing the numbers, we're chasing the bank account, we're chasing the bigger house, we're chasing the better phone, all those things, because they make us feel good for a while. They allow us to forget about the man or woman that resides within. And this is what our job is here. On a fundamental level, we're all born to release the patterns. Now, epigenetics has shown the woo-woo people to be right. Your programs can be ancestral. What happened to your parents before or when you were in the womb will impact your DNA. What happened to your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents will be expressed in you. So when you're born with pre-made programs that aren't yours. Programs that impacted your family's lineage many, many generations ago. So you're born with an automatic thought process or feeling, not thought process, but feelings in the nervous system, because your DNA has been changed. And epigenetics has shown this to be true. If something really barbaric happened, let's take example, the famine. Why are Irish mothers feeders? Because the subconscious mind of the Irish mothers, do not feed your children means death. Because many generations ago, it was true. Children, the mothers had to watch their children die. They had to pick which child survived, which child lived. That impacted DNA, which when they give birth to their child was imprinted in their DNA and carried through. And until we bring that unconscious program to the conscious, it will continue playing. And I know I've lost some of you here. That's fine. Because what I'm saying is too woo-woo for you doesn't make it less true. And that's just one example. Unconscious programs ancestrally. Then you've got the programs of the culture. Then you've got your own thoughts. These are all programs that the unconscious mind dictates. And remember, the subconscious mind remembers everything. Never lets anything go. And until you bring it to the conscious mind, it will govern your life and you will call it fate. So there you go. This is why I do the sound baths. Because the sound baths allow you time to feel into those emotions. Meditate, breathe. All these things help you move. Most of us are using fitness as a way to try to make ourselves feel better. And for some of us it works. But for the vast majority, it doesn't. And we can see it expressed in society today. For a society that's meant to be like the most advanced technologically and emotionally, blah, 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 we are redundant. We're redundant because the powers that be have set it up knowing what I'm saying on a very deep level and understanding that if they can control our thoughts as children, they can dictate our actions as adults.